All right. Let's look at the next comment. Randy's he's here for the hankiest of the pankiest.
Yeah. It sounds like something a Randy guy would say. So that works for me.
There you go. All right. Chris C says, I was going to send some 80s wax to BBCE, but after the recent 86 fleer box, I have to reconsider. Yep, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
reconsider is like the least you should do, Christy. Good call.
Yeah. Now, maybe we should switch gears a little bit.
Yeah,
Card Mover says, I wonder what Fanatics is going to do with the hobby.
we're seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Your thoughts?
yeah, I was mildly optimistic, right? I was like cautiously optimistic when the deals were announced. So Muds and Eisner, they had the huge capital raise, and so one of my videos, I'm like, all right, they're getting ready for something here. I think they're gonna make a run at some of the other the sports cars thing. Apparently, they were raising it for defense because Fanatics was coming, and shortly after, Fanatics bought them all out. So they're trying to raise money to make a run to clinch the MLB license or whatever. And I didn't see the Fanatics thing coming. So when they came in, started buying everything, it's like, all right, maybe they're going to do something. And then what we've heard, since then is they're really, they're interested in their product is you at this point. It's not cards. Topps product was always gum, and they're like, we want to sell our gum, we're going to throw in trading cards. And Fanatics is now, it's like our product is you, we're going to attach trading cards to that. They want data collection at hobby shops, and then they're just going to expand this thing like crazy at no at it in a way we haven't really seen before. So what they've seen, you look at who they're throwing their hat in with some of the the backyard breaks, some of the other breakers that are a little bit more out there. It's like you see what they're doing. This is all about marketing. The product is you, and maybe we'll get some cool cards out of it. I'm just glad they're keeping Tops. It's like we're gonna get some Tops football, and we're gonna get Tops Tops baseball. Hopefully that doesn't change a whole lot. I'll be all right, but we have to accept the fact that that we're now the product. So.
Yeah, I mean, if now we have Tops, and then do you think they're going to go after Panini?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have no idea. But I can't imagine that they won't. I mean, at some point, I mean, they've got the license for all the major sports. I don't know what Panini does. I mean, they've done the unlicensing long enough with baseball, but now they can't even do it with players. They can't do player names or anything like that. So I don't know what choice Panini has at this point. So do they just hang on for the next year? I'm not quite sure how that's gonna play out, but I don't see how that doesn't end up with Panini just kind of going away, and the price just keeps going down the longer they wait. I think so. I
Yeah.
think they kind of have to, from what I understand, but I could be corrected on that one. But yeah, it doesn't look good for them, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have the UFC license, but
Right.
UFC isn't. I mean, I have a Khabib card, but that's about
Yeah.
it. Like two Khabib cards.
Yeah. As far as the major sports, yeah, I mean, I just think that that's about it. Tops is in a better position. They've got Star Wars, Garbage Pail Kids, and like 30% of their income comes from candy. So it's like, yeah, they can hang around.
I don't think though the candy the I don't think that's part of Fanatics. I
That's
think
what I'm
it's
saying is Tops can they can hang on by themselves because they have all these other revenue sources. I
okay,
don't think
gotcha.
Panini has a leg to stand on here.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So
The
they make
private
those
equity group
sandwiches,
that
I
has
think.
okay.
They make the Panini sandwiches. That's them, right? So other than that, I think they're kind of screwed. So
Yeah. I think they should have been the first ones to
yes,
aggressively reach out rather than Todd because then okay, they
the
still
first
have
ones to
the
sell are going to get the best price, typically. And as stubborn as they were, thinking they could hang on to this stuff, I think they really hurt themselves, perhaps. So.
I mean they're printing like the Federal Reserve. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing with
yeah,
cards.
absolutely. I mean, they're literally printing. I mean, the Federal Reserve again, they can only buy bonds, so they're doing what they can. All that $7 trillion deficit spending really helped them out with the
Yeah.
printing. But yeah, Panini is, oh my gosh, the Federal Reserve is probably looking at them like, I wish I was you right now. So
Exactly. So, speaking of the Federal Reserve again, so you made a comment, and I was quite interested.
oh,
You mentioned Jekyll Island.
oh
Okay,
right,
so
yeah, sure.
so what do you know about Jekyll Island that the common guy doesn't know about?
Yeah, well, I don't. Hopefully, the comic guy knows nothing about it. It's boring stuff here. But that was, that this was the what was it after World War II? This was the major meeting point on Jekyll Island where the Federal
World War
Reserve,
One before World War One.
World War One, yeah, sorry, where they all got together, and just it's dirty stuff. I mean, Federal Reserve basically, we really started to try and do this several times in the 1800s, and it got shot down a few times, and then finally they got it to stick. And so, they're just coming to all these nefarious agreements on how to control the, people have to here's what I would say. People have to understand that the Federal Reserve is about as federal as Federal Express. We handed over our money supply to a private company here, right? And that's a big problem. And so that's where Jekyll, the Jekyll Island meetings kind of came from, is this is where you came up with 2% inflation and things of that nature, which is a screw job. Every 24 years, your money is worth half as much. So they want control, and that's where it started.
The way that I describe it is some bankers engaged in the hanky-panky at Jekyll Island, and they colluded, and that's how the Federal Reserve was made. And they'll say, "Oh no, it's Congress," and no, it went down in Jekyll Island. And I think
because prior to the existence of the Federal Reserve, there were institutions like J.P. Morgan after the panic of 1907 that intervened in the market and helped to turn the economy. There were periods in the past where there were...
Private industry could do whatever it wishes, Ron. I have no problem with that.
Well, but we created the Federal Reserve so that private industry did not bear the responsibility of...
Who created the Federal Reserve, Ron?
Well, Congress, Rick. What is your point about that?
Well, read about Jekyll Island. Read about the people that attended that meeting in disguises. It's very interesting.
Well, I have, Rick. I don't understand, whether...
So have I.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's great. That's not the point I'm making. The fact is that...
Ron,
guys, come on,
Ron,
let's get to a point.
Can I ask you?
that's how business operates.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tie it into sports cards.
Right.
I think that's how... You can even say sports cars or all types of industries work. I think there's, there's rules on collusion and all that, but I think that's how sports cars work in the hierarchy. And I think they're all buddies, and then they're colluding. They're not saying anything that goes wrong, with the BBCE thing that went down, and then just other scandals that have gone down.
And this is, you're right. It's business as usual. I remember, was it 10, 15 years ago? Nike, they had this problem with, track stars running, and like the soles of their shoes would like fall off, like the glue was bad. And there was a couple incidents in these major track meets where the shoes would like literally fall apart. And you had the other major producers, Reebok, no one said anything. They're just like, we're all in this together. We don't want to, what hurts them hurts us. And so the same thing with sports cards. I mean, are they in like official cahoots? Probably not. Are they talking to each other? Oh yeah, for sure. They're sharing information. They're in the same industry. They want it to be healthy. There's enough room for all of them to grow. And so they have to work a little bit together at some level to make this happen. So, you look at the energy industry. Those guys have conferences every year. I mean, why? They want their industry to be healthy. So it's not a bad thing for the most part. I mean, they're just strategizing. They've got a product, and, everyone's better off if they kind of communicate to a little bit of an extent, not deeply or anything like that about what's going on. So,
yeah. Chris C, we'll move on to more comments. Card movers, when has a monopoly ever cared? That's what Fanatics is. I think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I think so too. They do have to care to some extent. They still have to put out a product that people want. So they have to care a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.